On this episode of the Globe Sports Corner, we take a look at a new sport taking the area by storm. We'll sit down with men's basketball head coach Kyle Capps and talk about the upcoming season and what the Goshen College baseball team is doing to stay sharp in the offseason. That's all coming up and much, much more on this edition of the Globe Sports Corner. Welcome to the Globe Sports Corner. I'm Tyson Miller. It's an exciting time of year for Maple Leaf athletics. Fall sports are winding down as men and women's soccer fight for spots in the Crossroads League tournament. Women's volleyball looks to end their season on a high note, and men and women's cross country look ahead to conference and beyond. In addition to all that, it's almost time for the winter sports season. We'll be talking men's basketball with first-year head coach Kyle Capps. That's coming up after the break. But first, let's take a look into our own community at a new sport that's taken off right here in Goshen. It's called pickleball, and the number of players has exploded over the last 4 years. Dante Stanton's got the story.
Tennis too big, ping pong a little too small? Never fear, pickleball is here. Now, you may have heard of the game before, but what exactly is it?
It's a great combination between tennis and ping pong.
It's kind of a cross between tennis and ping pong.
I would describe it as a sport that is a small version of tennis or a very oversized version of ping pong. Using a paddle and a wiffle ball and being on a court that's half the size of a tennis court.
With the sport of pickleball, a stigma exists that the game is just for the older generations, but most say that's now being challenged.
I think that's starting to change because there's a lot of younger people playing it.
But by now I'm seeing teenagers, college kids, which is fantastic.
Thankfully, there are plenty of places to hang your paddle in the area.
Every city, Goshen or larger-ish in Elkhart County has courts now, it seems like.
While there are several options as far as pickleball venues go in the area, most are outdoors, but not the Pickle House.
It is a place to play indoors in northern Indiana when the weather is cold, nasty, windy, and snowy.
As with most sports, a community is developed around the game, and a helpful one at that.
But in general, people are very friendly, very helpful, like encouraging to one another, trying to help people get better and learn and have fun.
And for a lot of players, it's more than just a game.
Since I had gone through a cancer diagnosis and had lymph nodes removed, maybe couldn't be quite as active as I was before. However, was looking for a way to recover and get back to my competitive self. And so my husband saw the pickleball sign in Middlebury at the Essen House and said, hey, let's go play.
And Cheryl has every intention of continuing to play the game throughout her treatment process.
It's also good to keep doing some of your normal things when you're going through a cancer journey.
So, why has the sport grown so much over the past 5 years?
I just think it's a sport that anyone can try and do and have fun in the process.
The sport is popular within Elkhart County, but where's it headed from here?
I mean, I've seen many times it's the fastest growing sport in the United States. Thousands and thousands of people every year are taking it up.
Reporting for Globe Sports, I'm Dante Stanton.
Thanks to Dante for checking out a new and exciting opportunity in the Goshen area. I actually recently played for the first time, and I have to say, it's a lot of fun. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to men's basketball head coach Kyle Capps about the upcoming season. This is the Globe Sports Corner.
Goshen College students enjoy an amazing success record, and we have some impressive numbers to prove it. But stories of our graduates say even more, like developing a breakthrough antiviral drug for HIV/AIDS, writing #1 hits, being named one of Time Magazine's most influential people in the world for cancer research, and enjoying a broadcast career right out of college. They all started with a real-world education on a campus that makes everyone feel at home. See how the numbers add up and schedule your campus visit today at goshen.edu/visit.
Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. I'm Tyson Miller, and I'm alongside first-year men's basketball head coach Kyle Capps. Coach, how are you today?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us today. We got a lot of exciting questions with the season just around the corner. So the first thing I want to talk about, you're a new head coach. How would you describe your coaching philosophy and your coaching strategy?
Man, yeah, I'm excited to take the realm this year, but the way I describe my coaching philosophy and is I'm an intense guy, and so I'm gonna try to get the best out of our team by just being intense and just bringing I can't even talk today.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, just being intense, holding guys accountable, at all points and times, making sure that we're resilient, fighting through everything, and then discipline. My intenseness is going to come from their discipline, holding them accountable, making sure that we're not cutting any corners, making sure that we're going to class at 8 a.m., like everything, all those.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of emphasis on some of the little things in terms of what you're valuing from your players.
Everything is a little thing, everything. Yesterday at practice, we talked about just we can't cut corners. Being a new program, a new team, like we have to make sure that we're building this foundation up from the ground up.
Yeah.
And however that's going to happen, it's going to be done by the little things.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in a new position as the head coach, but you were around this team last year in an associate position. So which one of your players have you seen take the biggest step this offseason?
I would like to say Elias Ramirez. He came in last year with a vocal voice. But this year, having a year under his belt of what Goshen College is about, like he should be able to help lead this team. Him and Michael Johnson, those two guys right there. We looked forward to them a lot as a leader.
Yeah. Well, this program is coming off a year that wasn't quite everything you wanted in terms of record. What changes are you implementing as you try and right the ship a little bit?
I mean, everybody wants to win. Like, who doesn't want to win? But right now, we literally got to focus on building the foundation. We got to focus on what are the standards of our program and living up to those standards, and not faring from those, not leveraging those standards at any point in time. So right now, we're just focused on building the foundation and continue to grow in that, and continue to grow in that love and that cultivating for each other.
Yeah, you talked about everyone wants to win, but how will you measure success this season?
We taking it one day at a time. That's the biggest thing we do. We look back at each day. One of the messages that we've been talking about was end far from where you started. So if we can end far from where we started, whether it's going in from Saturday to next Tuesday, in between games, or whether it's going from the first day of practice, September 22nd, till the last day we're together in March. So. That's what we're trying to figure out, is just how can we end far from where we started. Yeah.
Well, lastly, Coach, looking ahead to Saturday, what do you guys have to do to be successful?
Saturday. That's the quick one. That's the easy one. If we go off of yesterday's practice, I'm not sure how that's going to look, but the best way to do is we just got to make sure we attack today. We need everybody. So if we attack today and we have everybody together, everybody is cohesive with each other, just meshing well. We should fight, we should compete, and we should hopefully be victorious at the end of it. But that just all depends on what the day looks like. So
of course. Well, we'll see you there on Saturday, and we'll have the games on the Globe, of course, all weekend. Women's and men's basketball, that's on the Globe. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. We're going to step aside for a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the fall activities on the baseball team and how they're staying ready for the spring season. That's coming up on the Globe Sports Corner. As the fall seasons wind down, the Goshen College baseball team caps off their fall with an annual event, the Maple Leaf World Series. That's Gabe Kermode with the story.
As the leaves change and the temperature continues to drop, it becomes time for Goshen to cap off their fall season. But it doesn't just end. The Maple Leaf World Series has been the grand finale of the preseason for over a decade. Assistant coach Brad Stoltzfus has been through this contest as both a player and a coach.
It brings on a very different aspect coaching it. because obviously playing it was a ton of fun. Anytime you get a chance to compete against your guys is always fun, especially when it feels like it means a lot more with bragging rights and so on with that.
As the Maple Leaf World Series became cemented in the culture, so did the legacy that former assistant coach Doug Wellenreiter played in the contest.
When you think of like the Maple Leaf World Series, you instantly go to Doug Wellenreiter, right? Assistant coach passed away a couple years ago, and just like his passion for like just that week of like getting to compete right in the lineup, him squeezing and double squeezing to win games, and just the excitement he would get over winning an inter-squad game.
I feel like I can take a lot away from how Doug coached to ways that I try to coach as well, with trying to inspire the players and get them excited about the game and really get them thinking about the game in a different way that they might have not have had experience in the past.
Wellenreiter went on to win 6 Maple Leaf World Series titles before being upset in 2019.
It was a ton of fun, and we ended up winning that game. So certainly winning Game 3 against Coach Doug in 2019.
Although the fall is ending, head coach Alex Childers is still optimistic for the future.
We got a pretty good cohesive group. We're going to have to get a lot better before we play somebody in the spring. But the fall's kind of built up to that. And, this Maple Leaf World Series thing that we do at the end is just kind of like the culmination of all that. Guys get a real chance to just kind of just go out there and compete.
I'm Gabe Kermode.
Thanks to Gabe Kermode for that inside look at the baseball team and the meaning behind the Maple Leaf World Series. We're taking a break. When we come back, it's the Globe Highlight of the Week. We'll take a look at the Everence Student Athlete of the Week and the Maple Leaf Minute. That's next on the Globe Sports Corner.
So you just graduated from Goshen College? What experiences prepared you for this job?
Where do I begin?
Loose ball and now an opportunity. Eichenberg takes the shot and it's in. Eichenberg scores the first goal of the match for the Maple Leafs. 2-1, and the Maple Leafs are right back in this match with 11 minutes and 45 seconds.
That's Colin Eccles on the call for men's soccer this past Saturday. This week's Everence Student Athlete of the Week award goes to men's cross-country runner Liam Elias. Elias finished in the top 25% in the men's 8K race on Saturday in Grand Rapids at the NAIA Great Lakes Challenge. He ran under 5 minutes in his first mile, then he was between a 5:11 and a 5:21 pace for his next 4. Ended up just over a second shy of his season best time. The Goshen's men team, they're currently ranked number 14 in the NAIA. They finished 15 out of 28 in the race on Saturday. Congratulations, Liam. Let's take a look now at your Maple Leaf Minute. Men's soccer takes on 2 conference opponents this week. They start with Spring Arbor University on Wednesday. That game is in Michigan. They'll then travel to Huntington, Indiana on Saturday to take on the Foresters to cap off their regular season. In the Crossroads League standings, they're a half game up on the Taylor Trojans. With a win and a Taylor loss, they can clinch a spot in the conference tournament. Women's soccer finds themselves in a similar boat. They'll take on Spring Arbor at home on Wednesday and Huntington at home on Saturday. The Spring Arbor game will be broadcast on 91.1 The Globe. With a win and a St. Francis loss, the Maple Leafs will find themselves in the conference tournament. Women's volleyball heads to Spring Arbor on Wednesday to take on the Cougars. They'll come home on Friday to face off against Taylor University and head to Bethel University to play the Pilots on Saturday to wrap up the season. That game, of course, part of the U.S. Highway 20 Cup. And basketball season kicks off this weekend. The women take on William Jessup University on Friday as part of the Ruth Gundin Memorial Classic. They'll play Trinity International University on Saturday as well. And the men tip off their season on Saturday. They face off against the University of Northwestern Ohio. Make sure you turn into the Globe on Friday and Saturday for all the basketball coverage. We'll have it all on 91.1 FM and, of course, globeradio.org. If you're looking for more Globe content, check out our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's all at 91.1 The Globe and globeradio.org. Make sure you tune in 2 weeks for the next Globe Sports Corner as well. Before we wrap things up, we do want to take a moment to honor Ezra Kipruto-Kogi. The sophomore cross-country runner was involved in a car accident in the early morning hours on October 16th and sadly passed away from his injuries on Saturday, October 22nd. Ezra competed at Liberty University last season, but transferred to Goshen College after the school year. He competed in his first meet as a Maple Leaf on October 1st during the Live and Lou Classic, where he placed 28th overall and first for the Maple Leafs, leading them to 13 out of 45 schools at the meet. That week, he was the Everence Student Athlete of the Week. Men's cross-country head coach Rustin Nice said that Ezra quickly became an integral member of our cross-country team and campus. Ezra loved being at Goshen and mentioned often that he was so thankful for his new community. He ran with his friends, engaged in deeply meaningful conversations, and was quick to accept any meal invitation that came his way. He encouraged us to be passionate and to chase our dreams because we might just catch them. Ezra will continue to run in our hearts. In his athletic biography, Ezra shared that he came to Goshen because my childhood best friend was here, and while I was making the decision where to go, he assured me that I couldn't make a better choice than coming to Goshen. He spoke so fondly of the community around campus, and he knew that was what I was looking for in my college experience. We at Globe Media offer his family, friends, and teammates our deepest condolences. We will end the show with a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you.